In this short video, I want to show you another thing you can do with timers. So we've used timers as a non-blocking delay. We've used a timer to measure how long code took to execute. Now we want to time events. What kind of events? Well, the simplest one that I can think of is if you press a button and then you press a button again, how much time has passed between the first button press and the second button press. You can come up with more complicated examples and more uses, but that's basically what we want. So how would we do that? Well, the first thing you would do is at the first event, you would need something that noticed that you had a first event. Since I talked about button presses, this would be the first button press, right? And you would clear the counter and the flag. Okay? You wait and wait and wait, and somebody presses the button again, and that's the second event. And at the second event, you read the counter and flag. Right? By taking the reading from the start and the end, right, you now know the time between the events. So let's look at a bit of code to do that. Here's my code right here. And what I have, an ordinary sort of main program, I've created a timer, right, with a certain amount of time. 65,000 times 256 times 1 over 8 megahertz, whatever that is. Okay. So we've set up the clock, timer 3 in this case. We've got a button on bit 5, RB5. Right, here's our code for checking whether or not a button has been pressed. And this has switch 1 changed. That tells us when we found button presses. I've got a counter to count the presses. And in my first case, if counter equals 1, start the timer, right? Clear the timer to 0 and clear the flag. And then we keep going through this while loop. And each time a button is pressed, up to 10 times, when it gets to 10, we read the timer. So I'm going to show you the code for that right now. Sorry, not the code. What happens to the putty terminal. Okay, here we are. I've got the button attached, and let's see what happens. Okay, didn't do it fast enough. I'm going to reset. Try that again. Okay, so it said it took me that much time. And if I reset it and press the buttons more slowly, okay, you see the flag has overflowed. So I'm not allowing a great deal of time to go by. You would undoubtedly want to allow for enough time. Okay? But that's how you would do it. Right? So on the first event, rate the timer as 0 and clear the flag. On the last event that you're interested, or the second event, right, read the time and the flag. Print out the results. That's it for now.